Hello everybody, it's Andrew Hutchings here, still not a licensed physician, but I don't think I need to say it for this video. And most of my videos are about health and fitness. And you could say this video is kind of about health too, just in a different regard. It's about family health, relationship health, which contributes to your health and your happiness, and happiness contributes to health, and yeah, it's all intertwined. So it seems like it's the norm that like when people have children, that they punish their children when they do something bad. But I think it's important that we separate bad things from things that could hurt them, that make you scared and sad that they're doing it. Because there's a big difference between if your kid is being stupid and careless and throws a baseball through a window and breaks a window, and if they go out and they get dangerously drunk or use drugs or slit their wrists. And whereas it might be appropriate to get mad and punish your kid for throwing a baseball through a window, or maybe makes like a little firecracker and accidentally damages something, punishment might be appropriate for that, but it's probably not appropriate, and it's not conveying what you want to convey, to punish your children for doing something that you're only mad about because you're worried for them, because it could hurt them or kill them. Like, drug use, I think, would be an easy example, and I'm going to transition to a more clearer example, which would be like suicidal tendencies. Because I don't think anyone would, I bet it happens, but I don't think anyone that really thinks about it would think that it's smart to punish your child if they're being suicidal. Like if someone tries to hang themselves and the rope breaks and they fall down and they don't actually die, it's probably not the best thing. It's probably not conveying what you want to convey by like punishing them, taking away, like say they're 16 and they have a car, by like taking away their ability to drive their car. Because like if you're their parent, you can be like, you can't drive your car, you're not allowed to. But yeah, not letting them like drive their car or hang out with friends or like do stuff probably isn't going to convey what you really want to convey, that like you're scared and you're worried and you love them and you don't want them to kill themselves. It's probably going to convey that like you're fighting against each other, and they're not allowed to do these things because you're mad at them and you're angry with them. And it gets a little less clear as you move to other things. Like suicide's an easy example because it's very clear. If someone's committing suicide, the only reason you're mad is because you're afraid. But now let's transition to like drug use or dangerous alcohol use. I think alcohol is probably a good common example. Like kids go out, they get drunk, and parents often punish their kids for like drinking. But why are you punishing them? Why are you mad? Are you really mad? Or are you worried? Are you concerned? Because number one, let's assume you love your kids, because you should. They're your kids. So you're probably more concerned that they could hurt themselves or get into some sort of legal trouble. And you're not really mad because like, I'm mad that you went out and you had fun with your friends. Like, you don't get to do that. But that's the message a lot of parents, I think, convey to their kids, that like, hey, you're not allowed to have fun with your friends. No car for you. No staying up late for you. No hanging out with your friends. And yeah, it's not at all what you probably really want to convey, and it's not going to help your relationship. It's not going to lead to your kids drinking less, unless they're just really cowardly, obedient kids, which hopefully you're not raising, because if you want to do something and it's not wrong and somebody punishes you for it, you shouldn't stop doing it. You should only stop doing something if it's truly wrong or dangerous for yourself. Yeah, just because somebody tells you not to do something doesn't mean you should listen to them. And that's the issue. It's like if your kids are intelligent and not cowardly, and they realize that like, I'm not going to stop doing it just because you tell me to stop doing it. Like, you're going to punish me, okay, now I'm going to do it more, and I'm just not going to get caught. um, you want to convey why you don't want them to drink, like, instead of just making it a fight, like, you can't drink alcohol, I'm mad at you, and now your kids are mad at you and like you're fighting and stuff. Probably a better idea to be like, let's assume they got like really drunk and they're throwing up, and then like you wait till the next day, or like ask them, how do you feel, like, you okay? You make sure you get them like some electrolytes and that they're feeling okay and everything. And maybe you wait till later in that day or the day after and you talk to them and you explain how, alcohol, it can be really fun and all, and I mean, you're lucky you're young, like, it's not going to give you as bad of the next day. Like, when you get older, it's going to feel a lot worse that next day. But it can be dangerous if you drink too much, and it seems like you can just drink as much as you want, but it actually can kill you if you drink too much. And if you pass out because you drink too much and then you throw up, you could suffer. Like, you explain the dangers, and you explain that, like, I also don't want you to get in trouble. Like, it's illegal so let's say they're underage. It's illegal for you to drink, so like, I don't want you to get caught by the police and get a criminal record. I don't want you to get kicked out of your school. It's probably a better idea to express the reasons why, instead of just being like, and I know people don't tend to hit their kids anymore, but I'm just metaphorically, I guess, for nowadays, like, take out the whip and start whipping because, oh, you drank alcohol. Oh, you're not allowed to do that. And make it like a battle against each other. Like, oh, you're not allowed to do that. You can't get drunk. You can't hang out with your friends and have fun. Yeah, like, if someone was trying to commit suicide and they failed, just like, you're not mad at them, like you're scared and you're sad and you really don't want them to die. Same thing applies to alcohol. Like, do you really care if they drink alcohol, or are you afraid that they're gonna hurt themselves or get in trouble? And if that is the case, probably you should convey that, and convey that you love them and don't want them to hurt themselves or get in trouble, not make it into a battle and you're angry at them, and it's just not sensible. But it's the norm, I think. And the same thing applies to drugs. Like, why don't you want people to do drugs? Well, bad habits, and it can lead to bad lifestyle, legal trouble, and it can kill them. But it's not like, oh, you did drugs, I don't want you to, like, you can't do cocaine. That's too fun. Like, you don't get to party like that. And I don't know exactly how someone would react, and it's going to be different for every person, but I think you get the message that it shouldn't be like an anger, like, oh, you can't do that. You don't get to do that. Like, well, why don't I get to do that? Like, why shouldn't I? I can. Why not? I want to. Why am I not going to do it? So it's a better idea to, instead of just getting angry with each other, explain, like, if cocaine were completely, absolutely safe and it was completely legal, I wouldn't care if you did it. I'd like you to have fun. But the thing is, like, it can be dangerous. You can get in trouble. You could kill yourself. So I'm just concerned for you, and I hope that you'll be safe and not get in any trouble. And that's how I'm going to be with my kids. Like, I don't think it makes any sense at all just to get mad at your kids for doing things that you're only mad about because you're worried for them. And hopefully you can apply this to your life. Maybe it's not with your kids, maybe it's with other things, but I hope you'll rethink relationships and how you communicate and interact with each other, because maybe just throughout human history, people haven't done enough thinking. Maybe we've been too busy with life to really think about how we interact. Maybe it's a new thing, I don't know. But it's very common, at least in my observations, that people don't fully think about how they're interacting, why they're saying what they say, why they're reacting the way they react. And it doesn't convey what they want to convey. It doesn't lead to what the outcome that they want. Doesn't make the relationship better, makes it worse oftentimes. And the ultimate goal, like if you have kids or parents or wife or husband or what friend, and you care for them, you want to have a good relationship. But another thing I think is that people do have oftentimes a little too much of a sense of owning somebody else. Um, Perhaps it stems from caring for them and being afraid for them, but it's like what I was just saying about parents getting mad at their kids for doing things that they should not be mad about. They're sad and scared about, but being angry to your kids isn't going to convey that or help the situation. Um, Same can go with anybody, whether they're kids or not. Like, I think people with friends sometimes get like mad at their friends for doing things, and it's like they can do what they want. It's their choice. So if you're worried for them, you should express that you're concerned for them. But it doesn't make much sense to get mad at them or be, yeah. It's the same with your kids. You got to think about first of all, what are you feeling? And what do you want to convey? And what end goal are you hoping for? But at the end of the day, you have to remember that they're a separate person. You don't own them. They can do what they want. You can convey what you want to convey. Hopefully you convey it accurately. And perhaps they will hear that and value it enough that they will change. But if they don't, they don't. Then you can't force anyone to do something. It's like if your kids do something you don't want them to do, it doesn't make any sense to, oh, I'm not going to pay for you to go to school now because you didn't listen. Like, yeah, maybe if your kid decides to break all the windows in your house, yeah, don't, if they're just being a little piece of shit, yeah, maybe punish them for that. But if like your kid's drinking too much alcohol and giving themselves alcohol poisoning, it's not like, oh, I'm not gonna pay for your school now. You think you can just drink alcohol? No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to drink alcohol. I'm not gonna pay for your school now. I'm gonna screw up your life. Is that really what you want to do? Like, isn't the whole reason you're mad about the alcohol because you want them to have a better life? Isn't preventing them from going to school gonna do the opposite of what you want? You really gotta think about things. Like, what is it that you want? And what you're doing actually helping that. Yeah, I think I've said it enough. It's just people often accomplish the opposite of what they want. Maybe it's just not enough thinking, too much reacting. But it really is weird that people and families and stuff have this thing about punishing each other just because they can. I'd actually felt a little bit of an urge to punish my fiance, like a little bit in a certain way for doing something, but then I thought, it's not gonna help our relationship. I'm just gonna be an asshole if I do that, just because it's like the norm that people punish each other for not doing something doesn't mean you should. And I realized, stupid that I even thought to do that. Like, I'm not gonna punish my fiance for, and I don't mean hit, I mean like do something. Gonna not let her have one of our house keys until she started doing something. Like, that's what I was thinking maybe I would do, but I didn't. Because then I realized, like what I said in this video, it's really stupid what people do. Like, you don't want to punish somebody you love just because they don't do something you want them to do. It's not going to make your relationship better. It's going to make it worse. And it's going to make you enemies. It's crazy how there's families, a lot of families, and people are like enemies in them, fighting against each other. Now, of course, they probably still have underlying love for each other and helping each other, but you shouldn't be enemies on any level, like fighting against each other. Doesn't make any sense. So hopefully this video can help you to have a healthier life from your healthier relationships. Because life is multifaceted, and it's not all about just having the healthiest muscles or eating the healthiest foods. It's about walking around, having good relationships, getting sunlight, being in nature, drinking good water, having fun with friends. I'm not listing everything, I'm just coming up with a random example, but there's many aspects to a healthy life. Hope you like this video. My website is andrewhutchings.org, where you can hire me for consultations on training, diet, supplements, and I'm not gonna get mad at you because you don't get to do that. That's cheating or something. No, I don't care if you want to take special supplements, and I can't give medical advice on them, but it's not medical advice if I don't tell you to do it. So I can give you medical information on them and whatever else you're interested in, because I am a medical science expert. I want to make sure I don't say medical expert, because maybe that could be a legal issue. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so I just figure I play things safe and pick my words. Not a licensed physician. Never said I was. I'm actually going to be a little tiny bit embarrassed when I am, because then people are going to assume that I'm less intelligent than I am, that I have less interest in medicine than I have. They're going to assume that I'm a pharmaceutical sellout, which I'm not. Yeah, most people who work as doctors aren't the best people, and it's interesting, and I don't want to get too off topic. Like, I was talking with someone the other night whose dad's a neurosurgeon, and he's like, oh yeah, most of the doctor friends of my dad's I've met, they love their job. And I was like, well, that's... he's like, they love doing what they do. And I was like, well, that's interesting. Like, most doctors and people that are studying to be doctors that I've met just want to do it like for their parents, or they want to do it for the money or the prestige, or sometimes because they want to help people. But there's a catch to that. And I asked him, did they love the underlying science of the human body, or did they love helping people? And he said, oh yeah, they really like helping people. And I was like, well, that's great. And it's great that people want to help other people, but just because you want to help people doesn't mean you should. I mean, you should try, that's great. But if someone is a lot better than you at helping people, you should let that person help people. Just because you want to help people doesn't mean you're good at it. And the way you can be best at helping people in general is by doing what you're best at. Because if you're doing something that someone else could do better, it might be harming someone, especially in medicine. If you work as a doctor instead of someone else working as a doctor, you want to help people more, whereas the other person just really loves the science behind it and knows way more than you and is way better than you. You're really not helping people by working as a doctor. You're actually lowering their chances that they're going to end up with that doctor who actually is into this stuff, good with it, and can really help them. But let's not get off topic. My book on tendonitis is for sale. I want to help people, but it's written because I can help people, not because I want to. And you got to remember in life, sometimes it's your duty to do what you can do, not what you want to do. Just because you want to help people. Look, maybe you're meant to mow lawns. I'm not putting that as like a bad thing. Like, you got to do what you're meant to do, not what you want to do. Do what you want to do, but realize that other people are going to be better than you, and you're only going to be the best at what you're meant to do. And I was meant to write that book for you, so I did. And you can get that book and fix your tendonitis. It's not medical advice. I'm not a licensed physician, but there it is. And my Instagram is natural_true_fitness. And remember, my website is andrewhutchings.org.